Boostcous went from a kitchen table to $3 million in projected revenue in under a year. And honestly, we need to talk about how that's even possible. This isn't a Silicon Valley fairy tale with venture capital and a 20-person team. This is 2 people, $30,000, and a box of couscous. Bruhis and Gallagher didn't set out to disrupt the food industry. They just looked at an ancient grain sitting on grocery shelves for decades and asked a simple question. What if it actually worked harder for you? The result was Boostcous, 18 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber, gluten-free, kosher, and free of glyphosate, which is basically couscous that went to the gym and got its life together. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the founding story isn't glamorous. It's 2 guys splitting $15,000 each and reaching for 0% interest credit cards to cover early marketing costs. That's not a pitch deck moment. That's a we believe in this enough to bet our savings moment, which is a completely different energy. The product took 2 full years to formulate, which means before a single dollar came in, the clock was already running on time, money, and patience. Most people would have quit in year 1 when the formula wasn't right, the packaging wasn't dialed in, and nobody even knew the brand existed yet. Then December 2025 arrived, and Boostcous launched officially, and the internet apparently lost its mind. $10,000 in sales in the first 2 weeks is not a soft opening. That's a statement. And the market was clearly hungry for exactly what they built. But here's the part they don't always tell you in the success montage. There was a dip after the launch hype cooled down, because there always is. The real test of any consumer brand isn't whether you can spike, it's whether you can sustain. And that's where most people quietly fold. Instead of folding, they optimized. They leaned into paid marketing with the kind of discipline that turns data into decisions and pushed through to consistent daily sales of over $5,000. That's the unsexy middle chapter that separates the brands that become brands from the ones that become cautionary tales on Reddit. One of the most quietly powerful parts of the story is their use of OpenClaw, an AI agent handling ad creation, email campaigns, and invoicing, essentially a virtual operations team that doesn't need benefits or a desk. This is the new reality for lean consumer startups. You can punch above your weight class if you're willing to let the machines carry some of the load. Now, let's talk about the 12,000 boxes printed with the wrong nutritional labels, because that's the kind of mistake that ends brands before they begin. Instead of hiding it, they went fully transparent with their customers, and that radical honesty didn't destroy trust, it built it, which is the irony that every PR consultant should probably tattoo somewhere visible. There's a broader lesson baked into this story that applies to almost any business you're thinking about starting. The product has to be genuinely differentiated, not just aesthetically different. 18 grams of protein per serving in a pantry staple category that traditionally offers almost none is a real moat, not a marketing gimmick. The 10 to 15 hours per week side hustle phase is where most people stay permanently, because crossing into full-time commitment means surrendering the safety net of a corporate salary. Bar and Brian eventually left their primary roles entirely, which is either incredibly brave or incredibly calculated depending on how you look at the numbers. And at $5,000 a day in sales, the numbers were doing the convincing. What this story really teaches us about business is that velocity matters, but durability is the actual prize. You can go viral in week 1 and be forgotten by week 8 if the product doesn't deliver and the operations can't keep up with demand. The misconception most people carry is that you need a massive budget or a famous co-founder or a spot on Shark Tank to build something real in the consumer food space. Boostcous proves that a clear product thesis, a disciplined approach to cash flow, and the willingness to use modern tools intelligently can get you to $3 million without any of that noise. If there's one philosophical takeaway here, is that the founders didn't try to do everything at once. They sized their risk carefully, stayed lean, used AI to multiply their output, and let the product speak louder than the marketing. Discipline and process beat conviction and timing every single time, and this story is a clean case study in exactly that. And if you're sitting there with your own idea, whether it's a food brand, a real estate deal, or a contracting business, you've been sketching out on napkins, we can help you get started in real estate investing, home contracting work, and finding lenders, so check out our links in the description below.